Welcome to Political Perspectives, where we delve into the critical issues shaping our political landscape. Today, we're diving into a topic that's stirred debate for years. Golput, joining me are Yusuf and Kuku.
Hello everyone, my name is Yusuf.
And my name is Kuku.
Okay, let's jump right in. Golput, or blank spoiled voting, is the act of abstaining or casting an invalid vote in an election. Yusuf, what are the pros of golput?
One argument is that golput serves as a form of protest against a flawed political system. It sends a message to politicians that voters are dissatisfied their options or the electoral process itself.
Interesting perspective. So, what's your take on this?
While golput can be seen as a means of protest, is crucial to recognize its potential impact. By abstaining from voting, individuals may inadvertently empower candidates or persist that don't align with their value. It uh, it could lead to outcomes that are contrary to the intention of the golput.
So essentially, golput could backfire and contribute to the election of candidates that voters don't support. Yusuf, what other pros do you see?
Another argument is that golput promotes critical thinking and civic engagement. By choosing not to vote, individuals are forced to reflect on their reason and evaluate the political landscape more deeply. It can spark conversation and mobilize people to demand change.
But couldn't this apathy towards voting also signify disengagement from the political process together?
Absolutely. There's a fine line between strategic protest and apathy. While golput can stimulate discourse, it's essential to channel that energy into constructive avenues, such as advocacy or uh, electoral uh, uh, electoral reform.
Okay, let's shift the gears and discuss the cons of golput. Kuku, what are some drawbacks?
One significant downside is the potential for disenfranchisement by abstaining for voting. Individuals relinquish their voice in shaping the direction of their country. Uh, this could perpetuate inequality and marginalize already vulnerable, vulnerable communities.
How about you, Yusuf? What other cons do you see?
Another concern is the risk of apathy breeding apathy. When people witness others disengaging from the electoral process, uh, it may normalize political disinterest and discourage participants in future elections. This creates a vicious cycle that undermines the foundation of democracy.
It seems like golput is a complex issue with nuanced implication. Yunus, Yusuf, and any final thought before we wrap up?
I think it's essential for individuals to critically evaluate their reason for golput and consider alternative forms of civic engagement that can bring about meaningful change.
Absolutely. While golput may serve as a temporary expression of discontent, it's imperative to stay engaged and advocate for systemic reforms that address the root cause of political dissatisfaction.
And let's not forget the importance of inclusive political participation. We must work to ensure that all voices are heard and represented in the democratic process.
Indeed, by understanding the complexities of golput, we can strive towards a more inclusive and responsive democracy.
Well said. It's been a thought-provoking discussion.
Thank you both for your insight. Let's continue to engage in dialogue and action to strengthen our democracy.
In examining the phenomenon of golput, it's essential to consider its historical roots and its manifestation in various political contexts.
Absolutely. The reason behind golput can vary widely, from disillusionment with the political establishment to deliberate strategic choices aimed at affecting change.
Moreover, golput can sometimes serve a reflection of broader socialist issues such as inequality, corruption, and lack of representation.
Indeed, golput is often intertwined with broader socio-political dynamics and can be indicative and underlying systematic issues they need to be addressed.
However, it's crucial to recognize that golput is not a uniform phenomenon. Different individuals may choose to abstain from voting for vastly different reasons, and each case requires careful consideration.
Additionally, while golput can be a powerful form of protest, it's essential to explore alternative avenues for political engagement that can complement or enhance its impact.
For instance, grassroots organizing, advocacy campaign, and community mobilization efforts can all play a crucial role in driving meaningful change outside the electoral process.
Moreover, investing in civic education and political literacy can empower individuals to make informed decisions and actively participate in shaping their community and society.
Ultimately, the goal should be to create a political system that is responsive, inclusive, and accountable to all its citizens, regardless of whatever they choose to participate in election or not.
Indeed, by addressing the underlying causes of golput and fostering a culture of democratic engagement, we can work towards building a more vibrant and participatory democracy.
Thank you both for this insightful discussion. It's clear that golput is a multifaceted issue that requires careful consideration and thoughtful action.
Absolutely, and I hope our conversation today has shed some light on the complexities surrounding golput and its implication for democracy.
So now, what are some effective strategies for combating golput and encouraging voter participation?
One crucial strategy in one crucial strategy is enhancing civic education and political literacy by providing citizens with a better understanding of their rights, the electoral process, and the importance of voting. We can empower them to make informed decisions and actively participate in elections.
I agree. Additionally, we need to focus on making the voting process more accessible and inclusive. This includes uh, initiative such as voter registration drive, mobile polling station, and accommodation for individual with disability or language barriers.
Those are excellent points. Kuku, what role do you think community organizing and grassroots activism play in addressing golput?
Community organizing and grassroots activism are essential for mobilizing marginalized community, community, community and amplifying their voice in the political process. By employing local leaders and fostering collaboration among community members, we can create a more inclusive and representative democracy.
Absolutely. Grassroots movement have the power to drive systemic change and challenge. Entrance power structure, they provide avenue for ordinary citizens to come together, advocates for their interests, and hold elected officials accountable.
Building on that, what about the role of technology and social media in engaging voters, particularly younger generation?
Technology and social media platform are valuable tools for reaching and mobilizing younger voters. We can leverage this platform to disseminate information about voter registration, polling location, and candidate platform. Additionally, interactive campaign and digital outreach effort can help to engage young people in meaningful ways.
However, we must also be mindful of the digital divide and ensure that everyone has access to online resource. Uh, this requires target outreach efforts and investment in digital literacy program, particularly in undeserved community.
That's an important consideration. Now let's discuss the role of political parties and candidates in addressing golput. How can they inspire confidence and trust among voters?
Political parties and candidates must prioritize transparency, accountability, and responsiveness to the needs of the electorate by demonstrating integrity, listening to constitutions, and delivering on their promises. They can build trust. They can build trust and credibility with voters.
Additionally, political party should strive to differ their candidate polls and priorities. Representation uh, mar- from marginalized community. When voters see themselves uh, reflected in their elected representative, they are more likely to feel engaged and empowered.
Finally, what can civil society organization and non-governmental organization or NGOs do to promote voter engagement and combat golput?
Civil society organizations and NGOs play a vital role in voter education, civic engagement, and voter mobilization efforts. They can organize workshops, forums, and outreach campaigns to inform and empower citizens. Additionally, they can advocate for electoral reforms that enhance transparency, fairness, and inclusivity in the electoral process.
Furthermore, civil society organization can collaborate with other stakeholders, including government agency, political parties, and community group to coordinate effort and maximize impact by working together. We can create a more robust and resilient democracy.
Thank you both for sharing your insight and expertise on the important topic. Before we conclude, do you have any final thoughts or recommendation for our events?
I will encourage
Viewers.
everyone to recognize the power of their voice and their vote. Your participation matters, and together we can shape the future of our democracy.
I echo that statement. Let's all commit to being active and engaged city. No, not just on election day, but every day. Our democracy depends on it.
Well said. Thank you once again to our guests, Yusuf and Kuku, for joining us today. And thank you to our viewers for tuning in. Until next time, this is Political Perspective.
And then let's start by discussing
Udah gak sih?
barriers to political participation faced by marginalized community. Yunus, what are some of these barriers and how can we address them?
Marginalized communities often face systemic barriers such as voter suppression tactics, lack of access to information, and socioeconomic inequalities. To address this challenge, we need target outreach efforts, voter education programs, and policies that promote equity and inclusivity.
I couldn't agree more. Additionally, we must actively work to dismantle structural barriers that disenfranchise marginalized community, such as discriminatory voter ID laws and gerrymandering practice.
Absolutely, it's also essential to reco- reco- recognize and address the intersectional nature of these barriers. As individuals from marginalized background of often face multiple form of discrimination and marginalization.
Building on that, how can we ensure that marginalized voices are heard and represented in the political process?
One approach is to actively recruit and support candidates from diverse backgrounds, including women, people of color, and individuals with disabilities. Representation matters, and diverse leadership leads to more inclusive policies and decision-making process.
Additionally, we need to create spaces for meaningful participation and dialogue within marginalized community. This can include town hall meetings, community forums, and participatory budgeting process that empower residents to shape local policy and priority.
Moreover, we must prioritize outreach and engagement efforts in undeserved community, ensuring that individuals have the information and resources they need to participate effectively in the political process.
Let's shift our focus to youth engagement. How can we inspire and empower young people to become active participants in our democracy?
Engaging young people requires meeting them where they are, whether that is through social media campaign, youth-led advocacy group, or experiential learning opportunities. We need to cultivate a culture of civic responsibility and provide young people with the tools and resources to make a difference.
Education also plays a crucial role by integrating civic education into school curricula and providing opportunity for hands-on learning. We can equip young people with the knowledge and skills they need to be informed and engaged citizens.
Additionally, we should uh, record, recognize and celebrate the contribution of young activities and organizations who are leading movements for social and political change. Their passion and energy are driving positive transformation in community around the world.
As we wrap up, what final thought or recommendation do you have for our viewers?
I will encourage everyone to recognize the power of their voice and their vote. Our democracy is the strongest when all voices are heard and represented.
Absolutely. Let's continue to work towards a more inclusive and equitable political system, one that values the contribution of all individual and community.
And let's remember that change start at the grassroots level by getting involved in our community and advocating for positive change. We can create a brighter future for all.